Hello, everyone, and welcome to Girl Time Podcast. I am your host, Lanisha Huggins, and today I am joined with my sorority sister, Miss Kathy Jones from Indianapolis, Indiana. So, Kathy, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a single mother. I have 3 boys living at home. My daughter I have a grandson as well. I actually work from home for a part-time job, and then my full-time has shifted me to work from home due to the coronavirus, COVID-19 that's going around. So working from home, 2 jobs.
Awesome. Today we will discuss Kathy's process of when she was ill back in late March. And so her process of getting through that and how she is feeling today. So like I said, late March, Kathy, you announced that you were feeling ill on Facebook. Can you tell us a little bit about what was going on?
Yeah, it was about March 20th. Yeah, 20th. I actually started, I was running around doing things just like a little hustle I do. If you've heard of Shipt, I actually do personal shopping for people and delivery. So I was doing that and doing some other things. And by the time I got home, I was like, oh, I'm coming down with something. You know, I had a little headache. My throat was a little scratchy. I was like, maybe it's just a 24-hour thing. Woke up the next day and I was like, oh, well, maybe it's just flu. It'll go away within a week. A week came and went. It was still not going anywhere. Actually, during that week of waiting for it to get out of my system, I ended up being dehydrated and going to the ER for that. So they quickly gave me an IV and rushed me out the door so I wouldn't have to be there no longer than I had to be. I'm still thinking I got the flu. And I was like, okay, it's not going anywhere. My fever was, at the highest, it was 102. So, and it did drop. And I thought, okay, I'm getting better. No, it went back up. So, by the next week, that's when I started coughing and feeling the short breath and all the symptoms they were talking about with the COVID-19. And I actually went that second week, I went to the ER twice, hoping they would give me a test, hoping they would admit me or something. But my oxygen level was above 90, so they could not admit me, and without admission they could not give me a test. But 2 weeks later was when my fever finally went back to normal. They tell you to check it for 3 days. I checked it for 3 days, starting exactly 2 weeks after I started getting sick. And it was fine after that, and I started recovering. And now I did have my cough for probably another 4 to 5 days after everything else was cleared up, and now I'm actually back to normal, back to Kathy.
Good. So what did they tell you that you had when you went?
They, on the discharge papers, I don't know if they were just putting what I said or they actually knew I had the symptoms of COVID-19. When the nurses and doctors came in, they had their mask on. Well, I was sitting there with my mask on. They had their mask on, and then when they would leave, they would take everything off, and then they would put whole new things back on. Part of my sickness was I was coughing, and then sometimes I would spit out blood. So that's how I would call they have a line here, or the different hospitals have lines that you can call, talk to the people, tell them your symptoms. And then the couple times I called, those 2 times that I went into the ER, they told me to go in.
Oh, okay. So what was your thoughts on having to take multiple visits to the doctor? Like, what are your thoughts in being sent home, like rushed home after they did your IV? Like, what was your thoughts going through your head?
I thought it was kind of odd. When you're used to going somewhere and getting help, let it be okay, here's this
Yeah.
medicine to get you better, or okay, we're going to admit you because we need to, watch you. We need to do these tests
Mm-hmm.
overnight, and you see a doctor in the morning or something. Because I've gone to the ER and been admitted into a hospital before, and when
Right.
you go in and they're just like, we're going to do these tests. They do a couple of tests, blood tests, X-ray, EKG, and they looked at them a lot quicker than they normally do when they're from an ER. And then they tell you, okay, everything looks fine. I'm sorry, you gotta go.
Mm.
It felt weird and out of place.
Yeah.
And when you call your doctor and you can't go in to see your doctor, but you got to talk to him over the phone, and he's basically telling you, well, call this number. It doesn't feel normal when you're
Yeah.
used to being sick and them actually doing a little bit more than what they did. I
Yeah.
do thank them for their services. I understand they can only do so much in this situation, but
Right.
when you're just not used to that, it just felt odd.
Yeah. I can understand that. And you talked about your irregular breathing and how did you manage to get through that pain?
Well, the one thing you notice with this sickness is you're really tired. I don't know how I slept so much, like the
Oh,
first
okay.
week or so,
Mm-hmm.
just sleeping, and then you know it. I think that second week it just hit me that I don't, I need to be up. I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to be laying down, because that's how it gets you, is
Mm-hmm.
from laying down. So even though I was tired, I tried to sleep sitting up the best I could, or
How did that
because
work out?
I nodded off a couple times, but it didn't last at all. And the coughing, and it's hard because when you're laying down and then you go to get up, let's use the restroom, or you're just getting up, so you're not laying down so much.
Mm-hmm.
I started coughing when I would get up from a laying position, and that hurt. That hurt
Mm-hmm.
my chest. It just, my breathing stopped. I tell people, I've never had asthma. I don't know
Yeah.
how people who've had asthma, but I just felt like, I felt like my oxygen level was just very low, and I was just
Yeah.
breathing really short breaths, trying to breathe. So it was hard, but I got through it. I think that, like I said, that second week, I really pushed myself not to sleep so much, but to stay up, stay
Mm-hmm.
awake.
Mm-hmm.
I walked my room a couple times, I think just trying to use my lungs more,
Yeah.
fighting against it instead of, laying down and not doing anything at all.
So was it hard trying to walk around the room and get that oxygen level up? Was that hard?
I don't think it was that hard. My room really is not the biggest room.
Yeah.
Uh, but I did what I could. I just walked from the door to the bathroom a couple
Mm-hmm.
times. If I got tired, I sat down. I sat down, not laid down. I would just sit down straight up and just kind of sit there and breathe and
Mm-hmm.
let it go in and out. And then if I could, I would get up and walk some more. Drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of people advise me to drink warm drinks, soups. I did. I'm a vegetarian, so
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do the chicken noodle like a lot of people. So I did the vegetable broth. I did tea. I like my water cold, but I drank it
Mm-hmm.
at room temperature.
Mm-hmm.
I just took everyone's advice. I think I can't pronounce it. Elderberry soup, syrup,
Oh,
or something like that.
was it good?
No, no, it was not. But I'm just like, okay, I've got to fight against this and
Yeah.
not let it beat me. So
Yeah.
so anytime I was awake, I would do anything I could to just fight against it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I
Okay.
couldn't work because I just, like I said, I was sleeping a lot. So I took a week off of work just so I can focus on getting better.
Mm-hmm. We have been knowing each other going on 10 years now.
Is it? Wow.
Yes, because me and Yvonne just turned 10
Ooh.
last month. So going on 10 years, and I have always loved your energy and how active you are. What was it like to go through and just let the process happen the way that it did, and feeling kind of, well, I'm not sure if you felt like this way, but just feeling hopeless, and not being able to control what was going on. Like, how did you feel?
I think that was it right there, just feeling hopeless. Sometimes I can be a strong person and not ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get with my boys, the ones that can drive, and like, here's the grocery list. And I'm texting them how to cook stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at your bank account, you can't eat out anymore. So I was like, y'all got to learn how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, it's hard when you're sick, and you just don't, you want to help other people, and sometimes it's hard to accept that help from them, because they were bringing me the soup, they were bringing me the waters
Mm-hmm.
and the tea, so that was very hard.
You talked about your boys and having them to do a lot of things around the house when you wasn't able to. And I know that you have a very strong bond with your family and close friends. So with your illness, how did you manage to keep your distance away from them just so they wouldn't get sick too?
I have what I'm kind of talking to you from is my desk that for
Mm-hmm.
my work from home.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's right next to my door entrance into my bedroom. So I tell them, just put whatever they have for me over here, and I would come and eat over here, drink
Mm-hmm.
whatever over by my desk. And I always told them, make sure you wash your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And they would come in, clean the doorknobs, and do everything. Just my main door. I would do anything past that, I
Mm-hmm.
would do on my own when I had the energy, at least. So that was the rule, is that they couldn't come past
Okay.
my desk area, and just left it at that. And I know now that I'm actually getting out, I do wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any gloves. I always kept gloves in my house because I don't like touching. They eat meat. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like touching, well, even my vegetables sometimes. I don't like touching it. I don't want my hands smell like onions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to touch my face and be on fire from my jalapenos or whatever. So
Yeah.
I use gloves, but we ran out of gloves. So, because I was also using them while I was sick and I was eating. This is when I was getting better. I didn't want to touch any of my food, like apples and oranges and things. So we did go out, and I used hand sanitizer after we left each store. And when I got back home, and we've already put everything up in the cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing all we can to keep ourselves protected, especially me I don't want to get sick again. It was
Yeah.
terrible. I've had the flu before. This was worse than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, so that's what they did, is just kept their distance.
Mm-hmm. So was it hard for them to keep their distance?
I think so. You know, my youngest son, who doesn't drive, so he wasn't getting groceries, he wasn't cooking. He just popped his head in and just, said hi each
Mm-hmm.
day, and that was about it. So once I was sick and out the room, we all got hugs. They all got hugs, and then we had to
Oh.
actually do the social distancing tap thing. But yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Say, how do they feel now? Well, during that time of you being sick, do you know like how they were feeling and what they were thinking and just anything in that manner?
I don't really know. We haven't. The only thing I know is I know they were tired of going to the store every day, texting me. I'll text them pictures. This is before I got my iPhone.
Yeah.
I'm texting pictures. Get this item. Now it's more like FaceTime, and I'm like, let me look at it. So
Yeah.
yeah, they were tired of going to the store. They were so happy for me to be back in the kitchen cooking real food.
Right.
I gave them the simple ones, and then I break it down with some ribs and ham and everything else and
Yeah.
pack them out. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
good. Well, at least now
And
they know
I
how to
forgot
cook.
to say that my daughter did visit me. She visited me a couple of times with my grandson, and they were just staying at the door as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sweet. Well, at least now they know how to cook, and you can say, "Go make your own food."
Right, right. When I'm tired from working these two jobs or something,
Right. So, where do you work at?
I work for Seven Corners, which is a trip insurance. Like when you're going on a trip somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they basically are insurance for that.
Hmm.
And I also work for One America as a legal consultant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you busy all the time.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And I know for a fact that you are a woman of great faith. What kept you going? And I saw that you did a live on Facebook, and it was just a worship moment for you, but you had everybody that was watching in tears because it was so powerful. I was just like, oh my gosh. But what kept you going in that time?
I think on that particular day, I was actually walking the room, and I just felt like listening to gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
I think by the time I went live, I don't know how many songs I was into at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just in a moment with God and just praising Him that I was still alive,
Mm-hmm.
just listening to His direction, that if He got me through, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And I think this is speaking to you and your audience is just one of the testimonies um, that He's showing me, you're alive. So I need you
Yeah.
to talk about this sickness. And and that was when I went live. That was like the second time I played that song, and it
Mm-hmm.
was just so powerful and moving to me the first time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go live with this because it's a great song. I love it. It's very moving to me right
Mm-hmm.
now, and I just want people to know, God is still alive, and
Yes.
He's got the power. He's a healer. He's a way maker.
Yes. And that is so true. Because
And I
I
think that's what that's seriously, I believe, is one of the days that really got me through. And I was a little worn out. I think I was a little worn out because I did too much that day. Because I was walking the room, dancing the gospel. So it kind of wore me out the next day. And
yeah.
I fell asleep. I wanted to just go to sleep, listen to gospel. So it was just um, very warming to my heart and to my soul that night.
That's good. That's good. Because it was sure was for me. And I know like I saw a lot of people comment and they was worshiping with you. So that was really,
Yeah,
really
I think
beautiful.
I scared some of my relatives. I didn't
Did
mean to
they
sound
say
like I
that?
was dying or nothing. I just wanted to worship the
Yes.
Lord.
Did
So,
they say
yeah,
that you scared them?
yes, they did. They did. It was like, you had us scared. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
okay. You needed to do what you needed to do in that moment, and we loved it.
Oh, thank you.
So, how are you feeling today? And I know that you just touched on this, but how are you changing your life as far as not being sick again?
Yeah, I think it definitely has changed me. In the morning, I got sleep in my eyes. I used to just be like, "Ooh, let me get
Mm-hmm.
that out of my
Mm-hmm.
eyes." I got a box of Kleenex next to my bed. I reach over and get that, or I will just wait till I go in the restroom in the morning and I'll take a washcloth and just kind of clean my eyes that way. So I'm not touching my eyes. It's changing some of the habits, which you really don't think it's a bad habit.
Yeah.
But when you get to thinking while they're talking about don't touch your eyes, don't touch your nose, don't touch your mouth, um, it really makes you think about doing things a little different.
Mm-hmm.
used to pick up a strawberry and bite into it. Now I might use the fork instead of and just I think I always washed my hands for a long time doing like the happy birthday song. Now I don't even do that, but I know I wash my hands at least 30 seconds. I do like the surgeons because I seen a video about it where they do each finger and they do like all this. I could be a doctor the way I wash my hands now. So, I think it just changed a lot of the things that you didn't realize you did incorrectly or maybe not well enough.
I was saying that my favorite song to wash my hands with is the Golden Girls theme song. Thank you for being a friend. So I seen that whole thing while I'm washing my hands.
That's a good one.
How are you feeling today?
I'm fine. I don't have not coughed in a couple of weeks or so, I think. It was earlier this April. I kind of stopped all that coughing. And that was the last thing to actually get out of my system was the coughing. I'm actually back to normal. I just started trying to do some home workouts yesterday and today. I didn't think I was going to be able to because I thought, my lungs might have been not ready for me to do that. But I'm actually back to myself.
Good. Thank God for that. That is amazing.
Yes.
So I know that like most people, they're not taking COVID-19 seriously, and I wish that they all did. What would you say to help those people realize that this is serious? People are dying every day and the numbers are growing. What would you say to help these people understand that this is serious and take your health serious?
I would tell them it is a serious matter. It is out there. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not on that door handle. It's not. It may even be in your home. The thing is, I don't know how I got it. Was it from a store? I went to a conference and the conference was actually canceled in the middle of it. And some people think I got it from somebody else at the conference or somebody that was in that hotel. Like I said, I do deliveries. When I really want to get some extra money, I might do some deliveries on shopping. I might have got it in the store. You don't know where you're going to get it, when you're going to get it. It's like any other cold. Take it seriously, especially since the death toll just seems so high for the U.S. And, I'm no statistic specialist. I'm no scientist or anything, so I can't throw no numbers to you on if it's worse than the flu or worse, which one is worse. But either way, it's out there. You may not know who has it. Some people are asymptomatic, which means that they don't show any signs. They don't have any of the symptoms, but they have it. So they can easily pass it on to you. I was just reading about a family in Indianapolis. Everybody in the house had it. And the husband actually was the only one that was admitted in the hospital. And they think the daughter may have gotten it from a basketball game, North Central versus Lawrence Central. And my son goes to Lawrence Central. So, he might have brought it home. My kids might have had it and didn't know they had it because maybe they're asymptomatic. You don't know where it's going to, you just don't know. So I would really be very cautious when you're going out. Like I said, I take a hand sanitizer with me. Blessings for the sorors here in Indianapolis. They gave me vegetable broth. One soror, she cooked some food and brought it over for me. I had a soror give me a mask that I could even go out on Saturday. And one soror gave me hand sanitizer because they, we all know it's nowhere in the store. So I've kind of gotten myself prepared and before I go out. And I would say if people are thinking, oh, I want to go out, I got to get out. I would just use as many precautions as you can.
Right.
Take advice from all these doctors that you're seeing on the news or the articles that you're reading online on what to do. But it is real. It's a real sickness. It hurts really hard. Like I said, it's worse than the flu.
Mm-hmm.
Some people may only have it a couple days, and that, that's good. I had mine. I was really, really sick for 2 full weeks. The cough itself, the last thing that had to go away, that took another 5 days or so.
Mm-hmm.
So you may be lucky. I mean, it's the luck of the straw, I guess. You can be asymptomatic, or you could die, or you could be in between. But it is real.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say to everyone. It's just, if for some reason you're feeling like you got to get out the house, just take as many precautions as you can. And, people wearing gloves and still putting their hands to their face,
right.
their nose, their mouth, their eyes, that's not helping any.
Exactly. And that's what I was about to talk about too, cross-contamination, because people wearing the gloves and touching door handles, and they're not really washing the gloves off after they've done certain things.
Right.
So yes.
That's why when I went to the store, I did make sure I didn't put my hands anywhere towards my face.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I used this hand sanitizer. Actually, me and my son used it when we got in the car. And then we used it when we got home after unpacking everything. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, deep cleaning, spraying all over your car inside and out.
Right.
Because he took me to the hospital, and my daughter took me to the hospital, and I told them, well, my daughter already knew because she kind of works in the health field at a doctor's office. But they both deep cleaned after I got out of their car. Mm-hmm. So definitely, just like offices, that are still open and still working, they have people coming, in stores, they have people coming and deep clean. You got to do the same stuff to your stuff when you are going out, in and out of your car and in and out of your house.
To kind of divert a little bit, you are running for a position within Sigma Gamma Rho?
No, I was running.
You was running?
Yeah, they had elections. Okay. I did not win.
Okay. So how did that go?
Because it was happening while I was sick, at one point I had wanted to, this isn't for me. Maybe I need to just not run at all. But I went ahead, and I was going to see how much longer I was going to be sick. And if I was going to be sick by the time we had our candidates forum, then I probably would have stepped away. But I got better on time to pick up, continue my campaigning, and doing things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't win, but that's okay.
Yes.
I think being sick and having my talks with the Lord just brought peace to me on either way, if I had won or not won. The conference I talked about, we were supposed to do all the voting and everything at that conference. And I think had the conference went ahead and had I lost there, I might have took it harder. Mm-hmm. So I look at this as a blessing, that it didn't hit me as hard as it would have had we been at that conference though.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't win.
Okay.
Because I know that I saw some things on Facebook that you posted, and I was just like, I wonder if it was still going on or if they voted already.
Yeah, it was last Saturday, the 18th.
Oh, okay. And, well, my last question that I have, how with your kids seeing you sick, how have they changed their perspective of taking the virus serious?
I don't know if this was before I was sick. It might have been during, I'm not sure. But one of my sons, he's a sophomore in college. He was kind of like hanging out with friends because everyone's back because schools are shut down and everything. And I told him, I said, you know, that's going to be 10 people or more, and you guys aren't going to be distant. And he said it was 10 people or less, but I was like, still, you know, they're saying you guys shouldn't be in groups and stuff. So I think with his is, he hasn't been around his friends since. I guess I can't remember if it was before I was sick, or I think it was during my sickness that I told him it wasn't good. So he hasn't been with his friends since that time, and I think everybody is just kind of waiting for this shutdown to be lifted before they actually go and hang with their friends.
Okay, that's good. And I'm so happy to see you doing better, and just
Thank you.
having you here with me, whether it's virtual or not, but just having you here and you telling your story, because it is an amazing story and it's a great testimony for everybody to hear and for everybody to take this very serious. So I really appreciate you being here. To our listeners, thank you so much for your love and support. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and hit the bell for notifications on all upcoming episodes. Be sure to take care of yourself and each other during this time of being quarantined. And until it is lifted, please be safe. Until next time.